Well then, it is the Gfinity Elite Series Season 2, Week 3, and Match 1 was a cracker between Prophecy and Epsilon. Epsilon wanted to kickstart their season, but unfortunately it didn't happen because Prophecy stood in their way. Yes, they were defending for a lot of the game, but on the counter-attack, they got the goals when they needed them. So we move in to Match 2 right now, where we have got Infused versus Method, and I tell you what, there are some lineup changes to talk about. Then after that, we'll have Endpoint versus Team Envy. Then Excel will finish the day against Reason Gaming. Lots on the way. Great Rocket League in action. Great chat, I can guarantee, from these two gentlemen, Gregan and Shogun. There was a little bit of banter going on between you two over there when you were casting. Is everything going to be all right? There was jinxing one another.
I think we're good. Yeah, we had a little bit of a chat back.
That was quite a high fist bump there. That was like up here.
That was testing my flexibility. We were talking about it earlier.
How is the rotator cuff?
Are you body popping?
The rotator cuff's a little bit sore, but yeah, that's a good test. We should keep doing this one.
There we are.
There we go.
Okay, and I'd like you to hold like that.
We're going to hold
for
it
the
like
rest
the whole
of the chat. Let's talk about this. The Method lineup. Please stop. Please stop. Thank you.
Yeah, made you regret that quickly, didn't you?
Yes, I did indeed. Now listen, this is a team that does not have Metanoris or Magnus that we've not seen in the Season 2. You would say this is your reserve lineup. This is the bench, but an opportunity for these guys to show why they are in the Elite Series.
Yeah, so the main starting roster, Magnus, Metanoris, and a lot are in Canada at the moment, competing in a big competition out there. So good luck to them. But they have chosen Sniper, Grandmaster Sexay, and yes, that is his name. GMS. We'll go.
It's really difficult to keep a straight face when that was happening.
Yeah, so we'll stick with GMS and my bipod for sure. So these guys, they're all good players, but whether they can play together, we'll find out today.
Yeah, Method, we saw them last season as well. They effectively put their sub-roster in for the semi-finals, and it didn't work out for them. That is when they dropped out of the tournament despite being the favourites. Are we going to see the same thing again this week?
Potentially.
Now, their #1 squad, Alot, Metanoris and Magnus, are in Canada at the moment. Can you explain a bit more about what's happening there? They're representing, they've managed to make it, finishing second, I believe.
Yeah, so that's the RLCS going on in the future. There's plenty of great tournaments going on where they invite the best of the best. And now that Method are considered the best of the best, they've been invited out to an 8-team invitational called the Northern Arena. And there's 5 American teams, 3 Europeans. Method, I think, are going to be one of the best teams there. Probably one of the favourites, in my opinion. And
I believe these are the qualifiers, the EU representatives across the board. PSG. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rocket League is blowing up, man.
It is indeed, quite rightly. A fantastic game. And obviously, you can see by the audience that we've got the Gfinity. We've even got a baby here. Yeah?
That's incredible.
No mucking about. That's how we like to start people getting into the Rocket League. Listen, I want to talk about GMS a little bit more. Remind me of his name one more time.
Grandmaster Sexay, with an AY.
Okay, cool. That's important.
Yeah, important.
Yes.
Very important, that AY. Gentlemen, I'll be coming back to you with some more AY in a second. Listen, Infused were the dominant side last season, but they're unrecognisable this time around in results and personnel. But one ever-present is the irrepressible Doomsy. He's backstage with Ariel.
He is indeed, and we're just having all of the technical conversation, aren't we? How did you describe Excel's playing last week?
Well, I said they played a bit poo.
And so you said you played worse, so does that mean you played a bit pooer?
Yeah, we played pooer. I guess that's the word. That's going to be in the dictionary now, pooer.
We're not going to play poo this week. We've got Method, we've got to come in strong and fighting. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, we're feeling good. I think each week we're getting a little bit better, so.
They've not got the usual roster. Is that a good thing for you? That obviously works in your favour, or do you still see them as quite a big threat?
I mean, we can't, obviously it's a decrease in skill level because the original Method squad are amazing, but, you know, we can't keep our guard down. We have to like attack it and be confident. You know, we can't just. Are
you grafting? Are you putting in the work together as a team?
Yeah. You've gotta get that. You know.
I've got a surprise for you. Can you hold on to my microphone whilst I grab it? 2 seconds.
Oh goodness me! Hi, welcome to the Doomsy Show.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Happy birthday! So someone told us it was your birthday. I conveniently had this cake backstage. Oh goodness, I don't want you to eat it before because it might end up being a bit pooey.
If I win, I get the cake.
If you win, you get the cake. It's definitely not 3 days old. There you go. Happy birthday, Doomsy. You only get to eat it if you win today.
Okay, all right.
We would light the candles, but basically there's a massive fire alarm over there, and it would definitely set off the sprinkler system. But you can just like, Shogun and I arranged that. Do you like it? Do you appreciate it?
Perfect. I think, you know, you've made it in the spikes, haven't you? So.
Yes, I've done it in the spikes. See, he got got it.
I get it.
Tom, he got the art. Back to you, Tom. He'll eat this after, once he's won.
I tell you what, he might win this and also get a presenting job as well. Welcome to the Gfinity. Love it, from Doomsy. Let's talk about that Infused lineup. Obviously, Dan Zizzle.
He'll complain no matter what you say. So
Okay,
it's
so
fine.
Dan is, I've got to say, him joining that team last week, they began to play a lot better.
Especially considering it was Dan's first time on stage. That's a huge experience for him, and I'm sure he'll be a lot more comfortable this week having got that first one out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan is a pretty major streamer in the Rocket League scene. He's usually streaming to like 500 people from what I've seen throughout this previous week. So he's used to having eyes on him, but having live eyes on you is something completely different.
Can we break that down?
Yes.
Difference between live eyes and obviously streaming eyes. What's the difference in your opinion, Shogun?
Well, whenever you're streaming, obviously you look at it and just go, oh, cool. A name has said this. For this, however, you look up and you go, oh, okay, there are people.
Live eyes.
We do that every single time we're over here.
Exactly.
You guys are terrifying.
Thankfully, it's hard to see the guys because when I went up there, they looked pretty scary.
Oh, they did, and they're lovely, this audience, and I know they're going to get more vocal when the goals go in. So he's got that to contend with. What about Doomsy? He can he can be someone for them to lean on for the experience that he had from season 1, which unfortunately didn't go in Infused favour. They crumbled a little bit towards the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doomsy roller coaster.
Okay.
It goes up, it goes down, but it doesn't ever seem to stop. So
Currently
all on it.
That's more like a Scalextrics. That's continually going round constantly.
But imagine a big hill at the start, and then it just goes down frequently, and then back up and down.
Yeah.
So it's like a roller coaster.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to say.
Okay, beautiful. That is the Doomsday. What about Radio? What do we know about him? Radio
has definitely been a staple of the scene for a very long time, but he's waiting for that big breakout performance. Him and Doomsy and Dan, if they can have a big performance this season, that's going to be his opportunity to really break out onto the scene because, like I said, he's been around. No major results to his name, though, and I'm sure he's looking for it.
Yeah, he tends to be that player who plays around his quality teammates, that kind of third-man role. And he's doing it very well here with Infused, but he just relies on people like Doomsy and Dan to score goals, and that's where the real pressure is.
Okay, now I am so excited about pronouncing this guy's name as I welcome him out, Grandmaster Sexay with an AY at the end. So listen, let's welcome the players out for Infused. We have Dan Shizzle, Radio, and Doomsy, and for Method we have my bipod Sniper and Grandmaster Sexay. Right then, which set of new boys will rise to the occasion? Who has the minerals? It is Infused against Method in just a couple of minutes' time. Do not go anywhere.
Goals win games in Rocket League. With a variety of ways to put the ball into your opponent's net, slick passing plays between teammates, and crazy individual aerial efforts create some of the most breathtaking moments the game has to offer. GG quite simply means good game. You'll often see GG pop up on the in-game chat in Rocket League as teams or players let their opponents know the game is over. You will also see GG frequent many a Twitch chat as viewers like to let each other know when they feel the game is over too.
Well, thank you very much for that. Welcome back to the Gfinity Arena, where we are getting ready for match 2. It is on the way. Infused taking on Method. I feel like we're ready for a free kick, Greg and Shogun. We're just ready to just jump up for this.
That's my Johnny.
GG and goals in the Rocket League A to Z. Any other Gs you could probably think of, Shogun? Any other Gs? Anybody that comes to mind? No, wait a second. I'm asking Shogun. Any other Gs that come to your mind for any? I can't think of any Gs.
I'd say I'm a G.
Yeah, no, we got a G. Oh, Gregan, of course. Gregan's another G.
Yeah, it begins with G. Yes, it does.
And talking of gimmies, do you reckon that this game is going to be a gimme between Method and Infused?
It's very close, and I couldn't decide, so I asked Kieran in the crowd. I said, who do you think is going to win? And he went with his gut, and he said Method, so I'm going to go with Kieran.
Is that what your gut is? Is that what your gut is?
It is, actually.
Okay, good. I like that.
Stomach just below the diaphragm. You should have asked the medic.
Who are you going for, though?
Method.
Okay, you're edging that way. Shogun, who do you reckon?
I'm going to be heading over this way.
Okay, is that just because you love Doomsy?
I was actually going to go for Dan.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. He's chosen. Shogun,
so I'm gonna,
looking forward to this match.
I'm going to leave it by yourself.
Well, I'm right in the middle. I sit on the fence on this one. I can't show favouritism. But who can show favouritism is in their casting. It's Cole and Johnny Boy. How do you see this one going, gentlemen?
I'm going to give this one with Shogun. I think I'm going to give it to Infused. This is the moment that they can turn their season around, a much-needed turnaround. And hey, look who they're up against. They're going to be pretty happy. No disrespect to this Method roster, but the other team are, you know, barely missing out on the #1 seed from Europe for the World Champions.
Absolutely. Against Bipod, GMS, and Sniper, they will feel that they have a chance. Infused will be happy that this fixture has come along at this time because there's no reason they can't win this. They are improving. Last week was a much better performance for Infused than the first week. They still lost. They lost 3-1 to XL. But to get a game, we mentioned it on the desk earlier, to get a game against XL is no mean feat. And there's no reason why they can't get all 3 against Method today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with XL just missing out on the LAN themselves, they have just really elevated themselves in the esteem of, you know, analysts in the scene and other pro players in the Gfinity Elite Series. Everybody's got a lot of respect for XL now. So Infused taking a game off them, and the other games were actually pretty close. Dan Chisel not looking at all nervous.
Not at all, no. He played really well.
That's a really big deal as well, because other players who, you know, are really hot online, they come in here to the Gfinity Elite Series and they just fall to pieces, or at least they take a while to warm up to the stage. But Dan Chisel, you know, he looked really solid. And you know, Gregan said he was going to pop off in week 1, or week 2, sorry, Dan's first week. But I think he just played that solid role, and in a way that is popping off. Can you pop off in defense, Cole?
We will see, Johnny Boy, because game 1 of Team Infused against Method is starting now as Bipod launches that into the middle. Instantly, a chance in the center. Good start from Bipod. He's a player to watch for me. He is an old supersonic acrobatic battle cars legend, dare I say, who hasn't had the time to play Rocket League as much as he would have liked. So we'll see how he can do at this level. I'm looking forward to seeing him. He told me backstage that he's been improving, so I'm looking forward to seeing him.
He's just a lovely guy, isn't he, Bipod?
Oh yeah,
Love
great
him.
to chat to.
And of course, everybody who knows about the original game, like you just mentioned,
Supersonic
Bipod.
Battle Cars.
Whoa!
Yeah, you gotta say it quick. You gotta say it quick, Johnny.
That game.
Yeah.
Bipod was the best player.
Some people call it SARP, but Supersonic Battle Cars is a much better name for it.
So yeah, Sarpica. Bipod was probably the best player in that game.
Yes.
And he had, just like you said, hasn't had the time to put enough grinding hours into Rocket League, and he is getting a bit older than his peers as well, like the Rocket League Pro
He's
average
53
age.
now, isn't he?
I don't know if he's 53, looking pretty good for 53. But he's definitely above average age, one of the older players in the Gfinity Elite Series. He's the oldest player on the pitch. He's as old as me, goodness.
Oh my goodness.
26. He's doing very well.
Right, in the first 1 minute and 15 seconds, hasn't been too many clear-cut chances. Doomsy does his best to change that, but nothing comes of it. And now, Infused, they seem to be prodding at Method. You know, they're taking their time. They're getting a lot of space in that final third. Method aren't going to be able to give them that much space throughout this series and get away with it. That was actually a poor shot in the end. It was a lump onto the backboard when...
oh, there you go, though.
That's more like it. They didn't touch there, yeah. So the first time they had space in their half, he's lumped onto the backboard. This time, though, Radio, he takes that first touch there, and that brings Bipod to attempt a horizontal tackle, which does not work, and Radio is able to flick it over 2 goalkeepers, and that makes it 1-0 to Infused. 3 minutes and 25 seconds left in this first game.
Sniper looked stationary there, and I'm not sure. It's always a big question mark of whether he was having some hardware issue there. Maybe a controller stopped working for a brief moment, or it could have just been a complete hesitation. He was in a tough spot with the good first touch from Radio, like you said. The great infield pass as well. Well, watch out for those.
Method of 3 players that won't have played with, or might not necessarily have played with each other for too long. So hesitation is something you may have seen. Sniper is used to playing with with Metsonorus and with a lot. So playing with these two, it could be tough for him to figure out what his role is. Is he being looked at as the main attacker?
That's a great pass.
Or is he defending?
I would love that to go in. Radio, did you see his positioning there? He just snuck over to the far post, and I love that so much. He's not getting clumped up and attack with his teammates. He's just going way over to the other side of the field, and Doomsy spotted him, shot it over. The defense, if they're not playing aware and concentrating, they might have had no idea that Radio was even up for that ball.
Yeah, and they're leaving so much space in the final third. Method. I do fear for them when Infused get the ball over to there, as we may see happen now if Doomsy can read this well. He almost does, and then almost doesn't, but he actually flicks it in the middle for Radio well, and miss on the wall, and GMS had to be careful there, and it's I think it's still looking like very much like an Infused game to me so far.
Oh yeah, that early goal is really important because if you want to shut down a brand new team, a team who haven't played together much, a team of substitutes, just get a goal early before they have time to really settle in and start believing in themselves. Because maybe if we're still seeing 0-0 about 3 minutes into the game, that's when Method are starting to think, hey, we can play this Infused lineup and play their game just fine. Maybe we're actually going to win this. And they start to get that confidence, which is such an important thing to have in these stage games.
It's the difference between Infused or Method feeling that Infused are getting frustrated and Method feeling that Infused are managing the game. You hear that a lot in football. You hear about game management. When a Champions League team scores a goal against a less good team, they'll manage the game. You know, they'll know how to turn that 1-0 lead into a 1-0 win. And it looks to me like that's what Infused are trying to do here. They're not going all guns blazing. If Method were to equalize, I imagine that we'd see Infused start to move forward more and really try to exploit the space which Method are leaving with their fairly passive defending. But equally, this is only game one.
Oh, hold on.
This is only game one.
Hold on
a second. Oh, Bipod. Got to take those chances, Johnny.
Yeah, for sure. He should have been hitting that ball. There was always the chance that maybe GMS has snuck behind him and he was calling fake it, because you never expect him to miss that on purpose in that position. He had enough boost to get the shot though, and it would have been a tough one to save from point blank range. If Method can squeeze a goal in, then suddenly Infused strategy, this strangulation strategy that they've been trying to do, it falls to pieces because they're allowing some pressure now. They're letting shots creep in, and that's something that they didn't do for the first 3.5 minutes of the game, really. So they need to still be careful. Final 30 seconds here.
Team Infused are focusing a lot of their attacks onto that far corner. They're trying to get the ball into the corner and then loop it into the center. That's sort of an old school technique. They're not passing it in field. They're passing it around the map, if that makes sense, along the wall. And maybe they feel that Method's defense
that's a pass and a half.
Isn't good enough to deal with it. But equally, Method have got 7 seconds left. An almost own doink, but with 4 seconds remaining, unless Method do something insanely unpredictable here, this is going to be game one to Team Infused, who take the lead for the first time this season.
They have done it. They've got the win in the bag. I think that they're probably going to open up now, feel a little bit more relaxed, because that was pretty cagey. You know, not so much. They didn't make very many mistakes. But they were also sitting so deep there. They were sweeping up a lot of Method hard clears in the midfield pretty well. But then when Method actually started passing the ball, we saw that chance for Bipod, and then we saw the attempted team play where I think it was, again, Bipod knocking it down for GMS. They had a couple of chances at the end there, and Infused maybe giving them a little bit too much space.
Yeah.
Aerial shot off the first touch from Radio was just too good for Sniper there, hesitating in no man's land. That was the only goal here.
It wasn't a goal fest by any means, but there were chances. I think as this game goes on, as you say, the teams will loosen up and we will start to see more goals. That was almost an incredible own doink. I would have been so happy to see that go in.
I've never heard that before. Have you ever said that, own doink?
Yeah.
Is that a new one?
I do it a lot, Johnny.
An own doink?
Clearly you don't watch my streams. I do that a lot.
I've never heard the own doink before. I like it though.
So what, Johnny, do you want to see from Method in this second game compared to the first?
I just want to see more passing, because that's what really worked for them in this game towards the end. It's when they were just passing the ball, trying to control it and find each other at a defense. It was working really well. And you pointed out in the first game that Infused were playing good old style strategy, you know, finding that corner with looking for the back wall, but off the curvy part of the back wall. But their only goal came from an infield pass, so that's probably their main way of scoring as well. Just passing. That's what we need to see from these guys.
An infield pass, and then the first touch from Radio. We saw a couple of infield passes where they wouldn't take that first touch. They just knock it onto the backboard. Yeah. Nothing came of it. They just need that little bit more patience to take the time they have, a little bit more composure, and then we should start to see more goals. As game two begins, and Infused are going to look to double their lead against a Method team that looks like it could leak goals.
They certainly could. Infused, they do need to be careful of. Like I said, they're sitting so far back, and that can work out if the other team are hard clearing, but it doesn't work out if they're just going to sit back and wait for your soft touches. Because nobody's pressuring that ball. Danzizel panics anyway. He just goes up expecting there to be somebody aerialing. There's nobody anywhere near him. And what he was looking for 50-50 perhaps. He just ends up passing it out. 1-0 Method.
Looked to me like a miscommunication between Doomsy and Danzizel, both of them expecting the other to take control of the situation. Neither did. In the end, Danzizel just passes that ball essentially to Sniper, who's in a nice attacking position to find it. But this time, Sniper was at the near post. That could have been danger if Radio had been
back they are.
A little bit faster.
So deep. That pass was coming across very quickly. No one was there for Infused. They do get the save at the other end. the follow-up has got to come in quicker for Infused. There we go. Now Doomsy moving up. He's realized that they're sitting way too far back. They're just not getting pressure on these free balls. He's at least 50-50 contest at the worst. They need to move up for that.
Doomsy now launches a counter-attack, which Radio goes up for. He's going to try and look to pass this into the center where Dan would have been waiting. It falls him eventually, but it's a single backboard hit. Tries to read his own hit. That's a bit more imaginative there again. It would have been nice if he could have made that. If he could have made that, but unfortunately, it wasn't quite to be. But Method looking a lot stronger this game than in the first game. In the first game, it looked like Infused could have stepped up to level 2 any second. This time, it looks like Infused are really trying, and Method are still holding strong.
I really like how GMS is playing here. The Grandmaster himself. He has always been a player that I've had my eye on. He's not really found his way onto a top-tier team ever since he exploded onto the scene alongside Freaky and I believe it was Frizzish. That was a long time ago, season 1, I believe. Yeah. They just came out of nowhere. He's one of these players that nobody knew. Suddenly, here he is, you know, competing at the top level, almost making it into RLCS, and he's kind of stayed there the entire time. For me, he's never really fallen off. He's just not had that opportunity, so maybe this is it.
Yeah, this could be a big chance for GMS to make a statement. Sniper stuck on the goal line there. I think Dan took that away from Doomsy somewhat. Sniper really looked wrong-footed, essentially. I don't think he was expecting that crossfield pass. He was expecting a shot to the near post. We've seen him a couple of times sitting at his near post instead of the far post. I wonder if that's something Infused can exploit with a long pass to the far post.
It's certainly true. Apart from that one time, oh, hold on. Dan Chisel off the post. It's going to the inside of the post.
Good finish.
Rebound from Doomsy. Radio was looking for the close range rebound, but he missed it, I believe, because it came off the inside of the post. It changed angle. Doomsy is there, 0 boost. He still knows that he can get a free shot, so well played. Good aggression by Doomsy, even though he knows if he misses that shot, the recovery is going to be horrendously slow. No fear, though.
Time was starting to tick on from Infused. Method took an early lead, and I was just keeping an eye on that clock because when a team takes an early lead against you, you don't worry about it too much. You think, oh, there's 4 minutes left. When you start to look at the clock and you go, suddenly there's 1 minute left.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I was just starting to keep an eye on that clock, thinking Infused are going to want to equalize soon. But they have with 2 minutes left, and that essentially resets this game now. We've got a 2-minute-long single match, which Doomsy is doing his best to get his team off to a flying start as he tries to get in between GMS and Bipod. Isn't quite able to. GMS misses on the backboard, leaves Bipod stranded, but where was Radio, Johnny boy?
Radio for sure expected GMS hit that, or rather said, these guys are capitalizing on soft clears though. This shouldn't be happening. Radio and Dan Chisel both panicking. Dan didn't need to hit that ball at all. In no universe was the ball in danger.
No, I feel
like chilling in the corner and Dan's panicked and centered it for the other team.
I feel like Radio's problem came because he was too far back for the attacking play, but he was too far forward for the defensive play. Yeah. He was in that no man's land zone. So as soon as there was a big clear from a Method player, suddenly all Radio could do was get a touch to stop the shot immediately going in, but he couldn't do much with the ball. Yeah. And that's what led to the extended pressure for Method, which led to a fairly simple tap in there for, was it Bipod who actually scored the goal?
I think it was Sniper.
For Sniper.
Yeah. Look at me paying attention. It probably wasn't.
Well, yeah, you called me out here in a big way, Johnny. I really hope you're right for your sake.
We'll see.
Or else you're fired.
Nobody knows. It's all fine. No, I think I'm pretty confident it was Sniper. Definitely not because someone told me in my ear right now. But 2-1 Method, like you said, are getting closer and closer to the final minute. They nearly score again. They really have turned this one around, and the soft clears from Infused. I don't know what's happened, but they're panicking in defense way more than last week against a team that really shouldn't be causing them as much problem. This is another chance for Sniper. He centered it to the back post. GMS is there, gets challenged. Into the final minute now.
I feel like Method really need to score in this next 45 seconds. I can see Infused scoring against them. I think they will, yeah. I think if Method are going to win this, it's going to need to be 3-1. There's going to be so much pressure coming in from Infused, or you'd assume so. You'd assume there would be so much pressure coming in from Infused over the first 30 seconds. Players like Radio, who was too far back last time, with so little time left, that won't happen again. But Doomsy almost lets GMS get past him and have an open goal. Doesn't quite happen. 25 seconds left on the pressure starts to mount up.
Oh my goodness!
Sniper, but Sniper saves it, and Sniper gets it away against Doomsy, wins an important 50-50, and now Bipod is away. Who's he going to look to pass to? Who's in there for him? He's going to take the shot himself. 3-1 to Method against Team Infused. That, Johnny boy, will be game over.
Dan Chisel is having a nightmare in defense. he completely whiffed a ball which bounced way before the back wall. That ball was nowhere near a hard clear, and it still managed to go over him. These nerves, I don't know if it's just the fact that they are the favorites this week, and it's in fact working against Dan, because we saw last week his debut, he looked really solid.
He did.
Throughout the series against Excel, who are one of the teams to beat this season of the Elite Series. But now that they're the favorites, we've seen this happen before. That pressure, the expectation to win is starting to wear on these guys. No disaster yet. There's no panic.
Near bother.
It's 1-1. They've dropped a game, but that's okay. They certainly need to improve on that, though, because they were getting out pressured. That was not a fluke by any means. Method 100% deserved that win. They cleared the ball better, and they took their chances.
Yeah, they did indeed take their chances. And as we mentioned, for the players themselves, this is a huge chance to show what they can do. And Sniper, Bipod, and GMS, after a shaky first couple of minutes in the first game, are really doing themselves justice so far. It's good to see. We've got a match on our hands, and I honestly wasn't necessarily expecting one. I thought this was going to be a walkover for Infused, to be honest with you.
I agree. I mean, I would have expected this to be 3-0. Not going to lie to you guys. Method are really showing up here. And Infused are not looking anywhere near as consistent as expected. We've talked a lot in game 1 about Infused sitting too far back. And they were doing that with they got 1-0 in the lead, and then they were sitting back with multiple players. In 3v3, most top teams will like to pressure every ball, or at least every ball that can be pressured by one player, and then follow up pressure from another player. So usually you won't see players isolating themselves by challenging in really awkward positions. But you know, committing 2 people deep into defense, like we're seeing from Doomsy and Dan Shizzle quite often, is really, really strange. That shows nerves, I think. They're afraid to lose, I think, Infused are. And it's so unlike them as well. When you think of Infused, you think of a team that can concede some silly goals, shall we say, but they can also put on a show and attack. When you think of Infused, you think of a 5-4 victory for either team. You know, they're that sort of team. To see them being too passive in defense is very disappointing to me. Oh, absolutely. This is not at all the Infused that we were expecting, but they're in a completely different situation from last week. Last week, sitting back in defense was okay because that's where we expected them to be. We thought Excel are going to pile on the pressure, can Infused handle the pressure? But this week, they're the team who should be faster. Their mechanics should be more on point. They should be winning races to the ball, but they're taking away that advantage by playing so passively. And then, there we go. That's a good pass out of defense. Not on target, though. But we do want to see better clears out of Dan Shizzle as well. That was, for me, the thing that really lost them game 2 in the end. But we know he's better than that, Dan Shizzle. He doesn't have to worry about it too much because he knows he can do a lot better, and I believe that he will. But we go into game 3, 30 seconds into it now, and this is an important match. If Infused wins this, they could really start to turn the screw on Method, knock their confidence, because Method are unlikely to start looking too much better. They haven't got a lot of improvement to make, in theory. Infused, on the other hand, can improve a lot. So if Infused win this game, they could go on and win it fairly comfortably. However, if Method win this, then Infused will really start to panic. And that's why this match is so, so important. But eyes on radio at the start of this game, he's hardly left his own box. He's sitting way back. Look at him, he's already above the wall, way before that clear comes in. This might be just a reshuffle in formation. They're saying, all right, Dan, just on you go. Get up. Do your thing. Do some air dribbles. You know that Dan Shizzle loves to air dribble. Maybe Doomsy in radio saying to him, you know, do what you enjoy doing. Have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, when you're relaxed, you play better. If Dan is overthinking things and missing the mechanics that he can normally make 10 times out of 10, you know, Shogun mentioned he gets 500 viewers on his streams. That's because mechanically, he's a gifted player. So maybe they've said to him, you know, get out there and show that. Have fun. And Doomsy almost attempting a double touch hit. Dan Shizzle putting on a bit more pressure, and where is that third man radio? They're running. They're running back. I mean, for now, it's 0-0. It's not a criminal offense to be, you know, sitting in defense. Oh, that's almost a criminal offense. Oh, my Lord. That shouldn't be happening. These teams are very, very nervous at the moment. You can understand why. Method now, they know they can win a game. So that belief is starting to creep in. They're like, wait a minute, can we actually do this? We've already hit our quota for the day. I was pretty sure that if you told them at the start of the day you're going to win a game, they would be like, okay, that's fine. We'll take that. Starting platform. Take a win. And they want more. It's just human nature. Isn't it cool? It absolutely is. I want more. So much more than what I've got. I deserve it, man. I deserve it. More goals. More goals, yeah. But also more saves. We want somehow both of those things simultaneously. Oh, more goals. I thought you said more coals.
I was like, sure, if you want.
I'm not sure about that. I think
I'll boot up the old clone machine.
one is probably enough balls, if you ask me.
Okay, right. Ball in Method's corner, and you're thinking Infused. Push on.
Half game gone. Not much has happened.
Yeah.
Such defensive posturing from Infused. They're desperately trying not to concede. But Dan Chisel is pushing up more. Radio is
Bipod's in
back.
trouble here.
Dan Chisel, he's got the goal. Bipod with the whiff, you called it right.
Yeah. As soon as the ball went in the air, Bipod never looked comfortable underneath it. And Dance's already, well, it's because Bipod started from directly underneath the ball. A horrible position. You've got someone at the back post coming to meet that ball rather than jumping from underneath it. I'm not sure if Bipod was left isolated or if he was in a wrong position. Either way, simple goal for Team Infused. Maybe that's just what they needed. Maybe from now they can push on.
Oh yeah, certainly the latter there. You see that he's so eager to get up and attack and follow up on Sniper's 50-50 that he forgot the 50-50 might go really badly. And I need to maybe stay on my goal line a bit longer just to wait and find out if this ball is in fact going to go directly above my head and make me regret driving forward a couple of yards. That is exactly what happened. We're into the same situation that we were in game one. Pretty defensive game from Infused, but they have yet to concede, so it seems to be working this time.
I mean, working is a strong word. They're 1-0 up, sure, but with 1 minute and 30 seconds left against, with respect, a team of Sniper, Bipod, and GMS, would they be expecting to be more ahead? Could this be argued that it's not working if they're only one goal ahead and they've still got the opportunity to lose?
Oh.
Exactly my point, Johnny boy. 1 goal ahead against a team that scored goals against you, won games against you, anything can happen. If they're not turning the screw when they go ahead, this is going to happen.
Listen, that was a really, really sick interception that led to that by Bipod. He just blindly turned around into that interception. What would have been an otherwise really, really dangerous mix-up from Infused, going for that infield pass again. You see the danger of the infield pass if it gets read by someone who's close by. Bipod intercepted it, got the center ball, and the finish was there for the tap-in. So credit to Bipod. He has completely created that goal with a brilliant solo effort.
So is that arguably Bipod's inexperience, doing something unexpected?
Oh, not at all. Bipod is reading these passes. Look, he's done it again. If he just hit that shot a bit better. Bipod, this is why he's so dangerous. This is why he's such a reputation in the original game.
The old
just he could deal with everything. Nothing surprised this man. And if he can start to do that in Rocket League, that's like such a difficult skill to learn. You got it or you don't. And Bipod, he's got that. He can read the game.
Yeah, and now he's got time to grow that skill.
Oh,
a great demo from Bipod. Really, his instincts are coming out now. And Method, I believe they smell blood. I think they're going to try and score in the next 30 seconds. They won't want OT as they infield GMS, who can't quite put it on target. Sniper's left doing nothing in the center, but GMS almost gets in Bipod's way, but it ends up a nice pass to Sniper. Going to try and get at that wall, but Doomsy's going to beat him to it. And Infused have to hold on here for the next 15 seconds.
Can they do it? This is all Method right now. We thought it was going to be Infused, but it's Method with the pressure. More and more chances. Another pass. No one is back. Bipod does flick it into the air. Does GMS out the boost? He does, but it's only going to go round. Overtime. Game 3. We did not expect this to be the situation at the end of Game 3. We thought that this could be it. Game over already, but it is in fact Method who looked to take the lead and missed by Bipod. Leads to us. Set up for his teammate though.
3 Infused players on the goal line. I'm assuming they're boostless, but they just about managed to get it away. That could have been so dangerous. A doink opportunity now. No, that could have been so...
really wanted that
I know, it doesn't matter what I'm saying, Johnny. If there's a doink opportunity, I'm going to shout doink opportunity, and eventually there'll be a doink.
A doink opportunity.
Yeah.
Boost steals are coming in for Method. This is really awkward for Dan Chisel. 11 boosts in the net, but he gets saved by Radio, who's done well on the backboard.
That's what we were talking about earlier when my Bipod for sure went for a ball that was directly above him. What you want is your teammate helping you out. That chance there, but good, aggressive defending from Sniper, who follows it up himself, tries to get the attack going.
Bipod
Let's come back from Infused. End-to-end now. It seems that these players, ironically, after a very tight 5 minutes, overtime is way more open. That's backwards from what we normally see.
Wait, this is extremely tense. It just feels like a goal could happen at any moment.
For any player.
There's so many 50-50s going on, and when that is happening, it's such a volatile game state. And so many of these awkward, lofted balls coming in for Infused. A miss on the demo by Doomsy. That is a bit of an overcommit if the counterattack can come in for Method.
Well played from GMS.
GMS is going to control this. Sniper, does he go for the sideline pass? He tried it. GMS was making the run. It's really good to see Method making so many team plays with this brand new roster.
The defensive aggression, Johnny, has just gone up tenfold since OT started.
Oh,
All
that's
the
a
players
chance.
are forcing 50-50s now, whereas before they were hanging onto the goal line too much. And letting
this
their
is so
opponents pass
awkward.
around. This is horrible for Infused. This could be it, but no! Between DanZizzle and Doomsy, the ball is saved on the goal line. The pressure remains on Infused until Doomsy gets in the way. Right, what can he do? He's into that far corner. We're going to put in a challenge on Sniper, but GMS is there. We're into our second minute of overtime.
Oh!
Another top
So close.
Sniper. 2 minutes into overtime now, and Bipod this time attempts to knock on the door on the Infused.
Oh, it's open!
And the match there! My Bipod for sure with that old school dribble round the back wall. Finds Sniper, who was timing his run to perfection, gets it in between Radio and DanZizzle, and puts it home, and it's going to be 2-1 to Method against Team Infused.
This is unbelievable. We did not see the mistakes from Infused that we saw in Game 2. The defensive capitulation that was Dan Shizzle's Game 2 play. That is not how I would describe Game 3 at all. Dan played solid.
Yeah.
Doomsy played solid.
Yep.
Radio played solid.
Yep.
But Method, they played better. They're stepping up. They're not just matching Infused. They're going one beyond. They look like the team who are more threatening, more creative. And Bipod's interceptions in the midfield, MVP.
Yeah,
both of the
wow, what a
assists.
performance from him.
I want to see both of those replays again because, honestly, he managed to craft 2 goals completely by himself. He didn't score either, but it was really the Bipod show.
It was the unpredictability of Bipod, where other players might be rotating back for boost. He's using his old SARP instincts, maybe, to turn in and just do things that the opposition aren't expecting. And that's working out so well for Method. And there, in the end, an easy finish for Sniper to
I love that.
2-1 up.
That from Sniper,
what a performance.
though. Sniper had full faith in Bipod getting that ball across. You said it in the game. He was there before anybody else. As soon as the ball was in scoreable angle position, he's hitting it. Goalkeeper was just behind him, but, I mean, if you're just behind, that's not good enough in Rocket League.
Well, Bipod and GMS have got faith in their third man to be back in the right position. They've got faith in Sniper to sweep up anything that falls to him. So that's useful for them, that they know if they go forward as a pair, they've got a very solid third man back helping them out.
But this is exactly what we thought was going to happen from Bipod. We said questionable mechanics because he just doesn't have the practice time in the new version of Rocket League. Well, in Rocket League, I should say, not the original Sarpica, but his game sense is 100% there. It is clear to see. He's making the interceptions better than anyone else in the field, probably better than everybody else combined.
Absolutely. Johnny Boy, Game 4 between Team Infused and Method are 2 games to 1 up. Who saw this coming? And the question now is, can Method continue to push and get the victory, which is starting very much to look like they deserve? Bipod trying one of his mazy, unpredictable runs, but this time Radio is waiting for it. Beats the Method defender on the defense, but GMS is there to sweep up. Yeah, it was a solid clearance as well from him. He was in the right position, and he cleared it very solidly.
You just give his team enough time to grab boost and get back into the game. It's so important to do that. If you're last man, you just need to put the ball in a position that's safe. Slow the game down. Give your team time to recover. Resupply their boost. And oh, that's another miss by Bipod. He has had defensive whiffs here and there. Those mechanical misplays, which are of course going to happen if you just don't have the hours.
That's a better backboard hit from Doomsy.
Oh, he's cleared
until he did a quad hit. I was just thinking, just before then, Doomsy had an opportunity to really put a shot on goal or a shot on the backboard, and he did neither. It's actually what led to Bipod's almost whiff that hit the post. It was actually a really poor hit from Doomsy that led to it. And the second time, when he was in the air, I was just about to say, oh, a much better backboard hit from him this time, and then he
well, he tried to
makes out on the ball on the wall, and it didn't really work.
He was trying to make out with the ball on the wall. He was trying to, make out with the ball and like kind of pin it against the wall at the same time. So a bit aggressive, honestly, by Doomsy. Not sure if that's legal, but that's what he was going for. It didn't work. He accidentally let the ball slip loose to the side. That's a shot from Dan, a bit wide though. He was trying to shoot that behind the goalkeepers though. Just to catch them off guard.
Infused look a lot better when they hit those clean shots with precision. They're getting a lot of clean hits still in the Method half. A lot of the time the ball is rolling to an Infused player who's all by himself, but they're just not doing enough with it. It's when they take the time to think, right, where should we place this ball? Where are my teammates? Like here from Radio, he knew it doesn't quite work out, but he knew that Dan was beneath him. And he tried to put it.
Giant Sniper! Oh. Infused are falling to pieces. A Sniper beats out Dan Shizzle in the midfield. Doomsy with a whiff. Radio had full faith in Doomsy connecting with the ball, did not move forward. Method are 2 minutes and 49 seconds away from one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen. I really did not see this coming after Infused. Pretty impressive Week 2 performance against the dominant Excel, but that's another chance. I can't believe that that wasn't contested. And the follow-up gets saved by Sniper.
I thought that was it.
He's playing so well in this fourth game, is Sniper.
He is as well, and what made that save so impressive was that having already made one save, he must have been low on boost, and he was still able to get that. That was right in the top corner. It was a really nice finish from Dan.
And he got the clear as well after.
Yeah,
he did everything. He's doing such a good job just stalling, giving Bipod and GMS time to get back into the game. Like, we talked so much about Bipod, honestly, because I just wanted to give the guy credit, because he's getting so much criticism. And honestly, he's playing such a good game strategically. But this is all around just great from Method. We saw Sniper struggling last week in defense. Complete change this time around.
Johnny, what would this do to Team Infused? They're a relatively new team. You know, the three of them haven't been playing together that long. They've been showing promise, but losing to a Method side that no one gave a chance. This is the one they'd have been looking to, thinking, right, even if we come unstuck against Excel, even if we lose to Reason, both of which they did, we should be a Method squad consisting not of any of their main three players. Yeah. What does this do to their psyche, both as a team in general and the Gfinity Elite Series, if they can't equalise and they still can't radio with a chance after he was put in from Dan Zizzle? They just can't take their opportunities. What is this going to do to their psyche, Johnny?
This might be the end for their season hopes, because they'll drop to 3 losses, which you need to win all your other games. They got top front ahead of them. Spypod with the rebound off GMS center ball. Chisel again with a poor clear, but look at that interception from GMS. And Bipod, no hesitation.
Not at all.
We question the mechanics. Well, he upped the speed there to 6th gear. Now they're in the 2-goal lead again. Home straight. They're on the home straight.
We said that Bipod was the man to watch, and his mechanics have, to be honest, been hit and miss.
Oh yeah.
He's made some scary-looking attempts in defense. It's mainly in defense.
Yeah.
Mainly in defense.
You're
where he looks
right.
shaky. I think that's where the nerves come in. But when he's on attack, he's really getting some really interesting plays. And Team Infused are struggling to play against him so much. This could be 3. This could be game over. No. 1 more minute for Infused to score 2 goals. They're going to have to push from here. They're going to have to try something new, because nothing that they've attempted this game has worked against a very, very solid-looking Method. But they do have a mistake. I say they're solid, but they do have a mistake in them.
This is good, though.
They're running out of time for Infused to make the most of them. Pass in field from Sniper. Bipod, who was reading him. He gets us away.
They need to score right now, Cole. This is the final 30 seconds approaching. Infused are still sitting so deep. There's no contest coming into that dribble in the midfield. GMS has time to recover twice.
And get the 50-50.
Oh my goodness. They need to challenge much more closely together. Get that second challenge before GMS has time to land, recontrol the ball and force a 50-50. That's just way too late from Infused, way too passive. I think they relied a little bit too much on their opponent's mistakes to win this series for them, and it just hasn't happened. Method have shown up and they've taken down Infused in incredible fashion. We did not see this coming, but massive credit to Method. They didn't just catch Infused napping. They have stepped up 7-fold, won 3 games in a row, right across the board. Sniper, GMS, and Bipod, massive congratulations to these guys.
What a performance from Team Method as they take this game deservedly 3 games to 1 against a Team Infused who everyone thought would win.
It's so sad if you look across the stage of Team Infused. Where do they go from here? This could be like it's not over mathematically for them. If they win all 4 of their games from here, I think playoffs is guaranteed. But they have left such a difficult task ahead of them now.
They've faced Reason and lost 3-0. And they're a team that they would have been looking to beat, certainly based on last season's performances. Reason are better this season, but certainly Infused would have been looking at that as one to win. They've faced Method with their second squad. Again, Infused would have been looking at this as one to win, and they haven't won either. So when they play in the future weeks,
they have Prophecy. They still have to play Prophecy. That's not good news if you're an Infused fan. So is this the end of Infused season?
Well, let's have a look at this game now. From the off, some scary. We talked about the scary Bipod moments. That was the worst of all. But on the other side,
worse from Infused.
Yeah. Well, on the other side, Bipod puts in a great
save. Sniper had a double save there. In fact, he cleared the follow-up and then Radio crossbarring the shot. See the other end, crossbar just gets turned back in by that same man.
Attack, wasn't he?
It's absolutely day and night. Bipod's defense and offense is day and night, and it's honestly great to see him performing so well. Best I've ever seen him play in Rocket League.
It is great to see him perform and great to see him play well in Rocket League, exactly as you said. But what's so nice for Bipod in particular is that he knows exactly what he has to improve. Attacking, great, do your thing. Defending, grind. Do training packs, 5 hours of non-stop training every day, and you never know. He may turn into a really, really good player again.
Honestly, if he can keep his defense, because I asked Marky Duda, who was another SART vet, and he said that the reason he thinks the Bipod was the best SART player is because he just never got caught off guard in defense. So I think it's just practice. If he just plays more, and he can do those training packs, like you say. Yep. Try not to drive forward until he's absolutely sure that the ball's not going to go over his head.
If I was his coach, I'd say, Bipod, you're great. What I'd like is if you hit the ball sometimes in defense. That would be really useful for his team.
But if they're winning and the defense can still improve, that's pretty good, Tom. I'm going to leave it to you to dissect that game. Take it away.
Okay, ready with my knife and fork right now with Gregan and Shogun. Gregan, gotta be said though, you went for them after
I can't take any credit here
from Kieran in a crowd, a Rocket League fan. Let's dissect their play. How good were they today?
Well, Cole said it. Everyone thought Infused were going to win, except for Kieran. The man's a genius. He knows he should be up here doing the predictions. But essentially, Method surprised Infused. Infused said coming into it they need to expect them to be good, even though it's the second roster. But I don't think they were expecting that much from Method. There was just something that clicked for them. And as they mentioned, Bipod, he's one of those players who everyone's kind of gone, oh, he's past his time. He's 26 years old.
What? How is he still playing?
How is he still able to react? Those reflexes at that age,
This is some of the highlights from the match so far today. Epic stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, effectively, after this result, it is crisis time now for Team Infused. They have now lost, I believe they are 0-3 at this point in time, and I got a nostalgia trip throughout that entire series. Bipod beating Doomsday, I haven't seen it in 4 years. It was great to watch once again. But overall right now, Infused are all over the place. Like, there's no consistency on this squad whatsoever. The only consistent thing for them right now is a constant ability to give up the ball. And that is
harsh
just
words.
not good enough.
Harsh
I'll be harsh if it means they get better.
Of course.
I will give them...
No positive reinforcement, just tough love.
Tough love, and if they come back... This is my philosophy. If they get upset at me, and they come back next week and they do better, perfect. I will be the bad guy for them right now because they have to play better than this.
They do. Did you say, gentlemen, that it's the end of the season for them?
Oh, I think they have to win every game from now for it to be possible to come back. And it's not going to be easy. As Cole was mentioning earlier, no game is easy. They've thought perhaps that game should have been easy. That was tough for them. Reason, another question mark where everyone's going, is this going to be an easy game? That's not easy. Nothing is going to be possible for these teams if they go into it with the easy mindset. Infused had a lucky streak last time where they got 6-1 because they had some great early momentum, whereas now everyone's stepped up and they have to step up with them.
No, okay, well, listen, I love his name. I think you'll enjoy his name as well. Grandmaster Sexay is with Ariel right now.
So I'm here backstage at GMS. Now, your first Gfinity experience, how are you doing?
I'm pretty nervous, but great after that win.
Yeah, it was a lovely win from you guys. Shogun there was just saying Infused were all over the place. Would you have agreed with that?
I think everyone was all over the place. It was a pretty random match, but I think we stuck together better than Infused did. We had more comms going, I think, like who is going to the ball at what time and stuff. I think we had the communication sorted out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I spoke to Doomsday before, and obviously this isn't the usual Method lineup, and then the usual Method lineup are a force to be reckoned with. For you, as someone who's come in, is it hard for you to get that window of opportunity and then really come in and prove them all wrong? As some people might say it's not as strong a lineup. Do you feel like you have that kind of mentality of going, yeah, we're going to smash this because I want to prove that I'm just as good as Magnus and Metza?
Well, obviously you always want to play good, but since the main roster isn't here, no one really expects you to really show up and get the win. But since we did, it feels really good. I'm really glad that we were able to show that we can do it as well.
And how did you find the Gfinity LAN experience?
It's pretty good. Like, I like that the crowd is really close to the stage, kind of like you really get the feeling that they're almost right next to you, and it really gives you the power to like give it your all.
Most people would find that terrifying, though, wouldn't they? Like, just hearing the audience breathing right in front of them.
No, that's really good, because if you score a goal and someone cheers on you, you're like, yeah, I can do even better.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Oh, good. So you can feel the atmosphere. It works for you. Wicked. Well, well done for today, and hopefully we'll get to see you again in the Method lineup.
Yeah, hopefully.
Excellent. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Ariel, with GMS. It's so much easier to say his name like that. Now, I'm currently sat in seat number 12 in the Gfinity Arena. Next to me is the famous Kieran in seat number 13. Unlucky or spooky for some, but not for him, because he predicted the last matchup. We are going now to have a quick little break. When we come back, we will have Endpoint, reigning champions, versus Envy. Big question, big moment. Kieran, the main man, who is your prediction for who is going to win next? Endpoint versus Envy. No pressure, though. I don't want any pressure. I don't want you to be stressed about this.
Envy.
Envy? He's going Envy. That is who you should put your money on. We'll have a quick break. When we come back, we'll get more of the experts' thoughts on this. Right then, it is Season 2 of the Gfinity Elite Series. If you're just joining us, where have you been? You have missed 2 matches. We just saw Infused taking on the B squad for Method. But you know what? That B squad, look out, guys. They are pretty tasty, getting a 3-1 win against Team Infused. Even the baby was loving the action in the arena, and the disappointment on the Infused team. Now, I believe that we can go backstage to Ariel, who I believe was going to be with Doomsy. Ariel, who are you with right now?
Well, you see, the problem is, Tom, Doomsy was only allowed to have Hugo the Hedgehog if he won, and so now Hugo the Hedgehog has just been left to his own devices. That's the way the cookie crumbles, Tom. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Sorry, Doomsy.
Ariel, you can't have your cake and eat it.
You got one laugh.
I mean, I can hear Ariel laughing in the background.
Amazing.
Talked about cookies. Listen, change up in the experts area right now. Johnny Boy and Cole. Gentlemen, let's talk about these two teams. We've heard the predictions. We can see the results today. A 3-0 win for Prophecy and a 3-1 win for Method. We turn our attentions now to Endpoint versus Team Envy. Reigning champs still, but they really haven't found any gear this season, have they?
No, they started off badly last season as well, though. You got to remember, they took a little bit of time before they started to, you know, put their cereal and their milk in the right order in their gaming house, and then start to, you know,
slow burners.
Start to take turns washing the dishes, and then that's when it really started to be meshed together on the field as well. So maybe this is going to be the week for them.
On top of that, they've had a tough game last week against Method. They lost 3-0 against Method, which is, there's no real shame in that, because you can't be too disappointed to lose against Method in any way. They lost 3-2 to Reason, but Reason themselves a decent performance this season as well. So it's been tough to gauge. They haven't had any. They haven't had any games where you'd expect them to win just yet. Maybe Reason. I don't know.
It's tough this season. Reason are
it's not a
disaster.
Do you think it might be just the pressure of being the champs? Well, last season we went, well, you know, anything could happen with this team. We like them. They've got a good synergy. They're good lads, always hanging out together. They live and breathe Rocket League together. Yeah. But this time round, we've put that title on them. And maybe that pressure's getting to them.
It's still such a young esport Rocket League that players are not they're not quite familiar yet with just being the favorite and owning that. Just thinking, we are the favorites to win this, and we're not going to go in with no respect for our opposition, but at the same time, we have full confidence in ourselves to just deliver on the fact that we are the favorites here. And we just saw that not work for Infused. They did not look confident at all in a match that they were heavily favored against the Method B team. And maybe with Endpoint, that's the same sort of story, because remember, they lost to Reason last season as well. In season where Reason were at the bottom of the standing.
It would have been rude for them not to lose again, because they gave Reason that first win.
Yeah, they gave them the win.
Season 1. Talking about the danger man for them, is it still Cheerio, the goal scorer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, at least, Cheerio is the man to watch. He's just so good at shooting, a very clinical striker. And very confident with his approach. He doesn't slow down when he's going for aerials. He just goes straight for the ball. He's like, well, you know, I might have more accurate shot if I slow down here, fly a little bit slow, feather my boost a little bit. But he just thinks, well, it's easier to save if I do that. I'm just going to go farthest as fast as I can. And that is why he's such a dangerous player for our opposition to deal with. Definitely.
Now, we like to make celebrities in the crowd today. We've done that already with the main man, Kieran. He got one prediction correct today already. He reckoned that Method were going to win this. When we look at that Envy team that he has backed...
Has he backed them?
He's backed Envy.
All right, I'm going to back them as well.
OK, straight away.
He was right last time.
Why, Cole? Why? Well, I can ask Johnny Boy, but I reckon, what's your thinking on the reason why Johnny Boy's gone for Envy and Kieran?
Mount and Friss are so solid in attack, especially when they know that they've got Waffle behind them, sweeping everything up. Mount and Friss can then essentially go forward without any pressure on them because they know that, as you mentioned, Johnny, if you're taking a shot and you're feathering your boost because you're fearful that you might hit it just wide, that means that you're not going to score against top defences. But with Waffle behind them, Mount and Frizz don't have to feather their boost, and they can smash it because they know that if they do hit a post, Waffle's going to be there ready to sweep up himself. And I think that's the key. I think he's the key, Waffle.
OK, and so he reckons the key, Cole reckons that Waffle's the key to this.
Very funny shaped keyhole. Waffle is the key.
You sort of press it and butter
Just
snoozes
squeeze
through.
it in.
It's a very intricate system.
Would you have a topping on that waffle, or do you have
Just butter.
Just butter?
Yeah.
OK, all right, fair enough.
For a key, I wouldn't eat it with just
Not
butter.
moutard. I think moutard is French for mustard. That's Mout's real name, his real surname.
That is spicy.
So there's some bit of Rocket League trivia for you guys.
That is spicy information for these two gentlemen. Max, why do they get paid the big bucks? I don't know if they get paid big bucks.
We don't get paid.
No, OK, good. Fun, as you are as well. Listen, if you weren't with us, MVS were involved in a classic. It was a shock to see them miss the Final Four last season, but last week they showed they can handle the pressure.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It is
Envious versus Epsilon.
Man, that was a huge interception coming.
Oh, he's just passed it to Mal.
Mal with a shot, and he's going to hit the bottom. Does it cross the line? It does. Mal gets one on the board for Team Envious. Oh, Morris, you nasty boy. Well, there's an opportunity here. Flarky's going to put Epsilon in the lead. They're up 2-1 now. 3 players forward here. Flarky's going to have some work to do. There's going to be an opportunity. Waffle does get the shot on goal, but it's going to be Waffle who ties the game up at 2-2.
We're about halfway through this game, and already 4 goals on the board.
Demo comes in. Frizz is going to have an open net here, and Frizz is going to score. Put Envy into the lead, 3-2. Look at the pressure now coming in from Team Envious, though. Shot on goal. It's going to be another one here for Team Envious. He brings it back to within 1 as we enter the last minute of the game. It's going to be, an opportunity.
Oh, there we go.
Big chance. Flores is going to tie the game up. Last 30 seconds of the game. So we're going overtime, baby. Now, looking for the pass across it. What a shot!
And Envious take game 3 with the 9th goal of the game in overtime.
What a game we just saw there.
Right then, this should be a fantastic contest. We've got Endpoint and Envious backstage ready to come out and join us in the arena. So for Endpoint, we have Shakaran, Tinny and Cheerio. And for Envious, we have Mount, Frizz and Waffle! What I love is they don't want to rush out, but they are eager to get playing. They say the champions always find it harder in their second season. They're to be shot at. Everyone wants a piece of Endpoint. The boys are looking to respond today as they take on Envious. It should be a belter. We'll see you shortly. Here they are. They're in position.